Thank you so much to Chef Duff Goldman for being on AM Buffalo this morning.
Thanks for having me. This is really fun.
I love that you do recipes for children, because that, in my heart, is number one.
I think it's really important, like especially when you're baking with kids, is like, you know, you want to keep it simple, keep them engaged, you know, and make things that are delicious, you know, things that are really going to like. You know, one thing I love about this recipe we're doing is that, you know, it has raisins, and like kids love raisins. It's just one of those things, you know, we all grow up with them. It's just sort of a, you know, it's a snack that we have. But this is nice because we're making a dessert with it, and we're reimagining the use of raisins. You know, we're not just getting it in the lunchbox. We're actually using the raisins as an ingredient in this custard tart. And for kids, I think that's really exciting because like, wait a minute, I know what this thing is. I know it's a raisin, but now like I'm cooking it, I'm doing all these things, and it's really wild. I think that's one great way to sort of like, you know, keep them engaged in what they're doing.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because sometimes for kids, little ones, they're just like, wait, hold on a second. Those used to be grapes. But like in your recipe, are you reconstituting the grapes?
Yeah, we're taking grapes, turning them into raisins, and we're turning them back into grapes.
Nice.
It's super fun. It's super fun. So the way I do this is I get some port wine, and I know you're like, wait, you're baking with kids a port wine. So the thing is, once you sort of like heat up and you get port wine kind of boiling, all the alcohol goes away. So this is a non-alcoholic recipe. So what I do is I get some port wine, and then you take some of the raisins and put them in the wine with a little bit of nutmeg and some cinnamon. And then what happens is the raisins, they get really plump, and they get this beautiful, it's almost like a velvety texture. And they get this like deep, deep caramel flavor. So you take the, you know, once those raisins have been reconstituted, you strain them out of the sauce and you bake them into a custard tart.
Oh
But
my gosh.
now you don't want to throw away the port after you've strained the raisins out. You reduce the port down, and that becomes your sauce. And this sauce is amazing because, I mean, you know, it tastes like port. It has like the nutmeg and the cinnamon in there, but it also has like that jammy caramel flavor from the raisins itself. And this is what takes, you know, kind of a ho-hum custard tart and turns it into like a really elevated dish. And kids love to sauce things. You know, let the kids sauce it. They're gonna go nuts. They're gonna love it.
Well, that looks so elegant and fancy. I mean, kids can make this. Is this easy?
Yeah, this is a really simple recipe. I mean, it's eggs, milk, sugar, flour, not a lot of stuff. You mix it all together, you bake it in the oven, and then, you know, for the sauce, you just, you know, slowly reduce that sauce down so it gets nice and thick and it goes over top. It's a deceptively simple recipe to do, but it is really delicious because you're getting all those good, like, all those flavors from the raisins that you're really intensifying. It's delicious.
When you come up with these recipes with kids in mind, why is it so important for, you know, like these generations of kids to be coming up and have an appreciation for what you do in the kitchen?
Well, you know, I think that, you know, we can have anything we want delivered to us at any time, right? I want sushi, I want Indian, I want deli, I want whatever. It will be here in an hour. And I think what's really important is making sure that kids understand sort of like what goes into food, right? Because the things that goes into food, that's what goes into their bodies. And I think it's, you know, it's just really good to know how to cook because you can't eat out all the time. You know, when you're eating at restaurants, you're getting a lot of sugar, you're getting a lot of salt, you're getting a lot of stuff that you wouldn't be sort of shoveling in there if you were at home cooking it yourself. And so I just think it's really important for kids to learn how to cook. I mean, I knew how to cook from a really young age. And, you know, I mean, it's like how I got my wife to marry me was, it wasn't my looks. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I cooked her a good meal and she was like, oh, this guy's great. You know?
Yes.
It's good to know how to cook.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Chef. This was awesome. I really had a good time with you this morning. Have a great, happy holidays.
Yeah, you too.
And if you would like to try this recipe or share it with your friends, just head over to sunmade.com. Chef Duff says there are a lot of other really great recipes there as well.